What's up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to the monthly comic book review. It's the show where me and an esteemed group of comic book YouTubers gather together to talk about our favorite books of the month. Tonight, of course, we're covering our favorite comics of July. So welcome, everybody. Station, pop, pop, boom, all that jazz and more. Let's go ahead and get into it and introduce the panel, including the man, the myth, the legend. It's 9-panel grid. It's my man, E. What's up, homie?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me for another installment of this award-winning show here, man. I can't wait to dive into all of the comics that came out here this month. We got some bangers, man. I'm really excited.
We do. By the way, you still got 2 days to nominate your favorite channels and shows for the CBC Awards, and I really hope that we get nominated once again for Best Collaboration. And we won 2 years ago. We lost last year. But come on, y'all. It's the year of PCPX, and if you ain't down to nominate us, I got 2 words for you, and you know what they are. Those words are comic culture. It's Nick. What's up, homie?
What's going on, dude? Two things. I left the V-neck open in case view counts go down. We could just do a button, you know what I mean? And just kind of spice things up a little bit. There you go.
Yeah.
And number 2, a continuation of last night. Congratulations on 10 years PCP out there. 2 different singularities in my comic book life. 1 is meeting Robbie and being influenced by all your amazing stuff. 2 is cartoonist kayfabe for continuing that influence going forward and help me evolve that. So, so glad to have you in my life. Congratulations on 10 years.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate that. And it was super cool then, I guess, to get switchblade shorties during the week of the stream for the 10 years. And of course, I agree with you, man. Like, I feel like the best comic book YouTube channel that's ever existed is Cartoonist Kayfabe. And just a moment of silence for Eddie P. All right. Returning to the show. He hasn't been on this show for like 28 years, everybody. So things have definitely changed in the industry and here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Let's bring him back, the Brainiac. What's up, Brian?
Not much. Glad to be here. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Glad you're back.
Yeah. It has
Glad
been
to have you back. He finally caught up on comics, y'all. That's what happened.
Oh man. Yeah.
He fell behind.
Yeah.
It takes time.
I had some things happen and I had to pull out of doing stuff for a while and long while. And I'm still somewhat time challenged, but you know, things are freeing up a little bit.
Speaking of pulling out, this man's a father, so I guess he doesn't know. I guess he doesn't understand the art of it. But it's Greg from Bearded Comic Bro. What is up, homie?
Oh, hey, I'm backstage finally. I'm here. Okay.
Yeah, you're here. You finally came on, man. What's up?
So, not much. So, man, I'm excited. Congrats on 10 years, and I'm excited to talk comic books with y'all.
I'm excited to talk comics with you, and I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry last night I didn't notice that you were backstage for so long. How long were you waiting?
A solid, probably unexaggerated 15 minutes.
Nice.
And like, there was at one point where I was just like, I should just go to bed. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't need to hop on. I'll see him tomorrow and can say congrats. But I was like, nah. I'm like, I'm gonna stick it out and just see how long it takes him to realize.
Well, I appreciate it, Greg. I really, really do. All right. So last night we celebrated 10 years of PCP with the 10th anniversary stream. And we had a lot of cool comic book creators and content creators here on YouTube send us little video clips, you know, congratulating us and talking nice things. And I got another one today from somebody who messed up their dates, but I want to go ahead and share that.
Man.
This is a good homie of mine. I really love this dude. And I love his work. So I really appreciate him sending this.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alex Packnadell. I'm calling in from rainy old England just to wish Pop Culture Philosophers a very happy 10th anniversary. Here's to 10, 20, 30 more until the sun goes out. I've had numerous dealings with Robbie and the crew over the years. They've reviewed my books, they've interviewed me multiple times, and I've always had a great time. I will say this as well, you know, every creator, you know, would love to have a smooth run of glowing reviews. I've been quite lucky in that respect. But more than that and over and above that, the reviews that we really crave are the reviews that really engage with the source material. And I think the name Pop Culture Philosophers is a big indication of how they actually go about approaching the reviews and the interviews. It's a real deep, nuanced engagement with the material, and we couldn't really ask for more. It's an incredibly valuable comics and pop culture resource, and I hope it carries on for many, many, many years to come. Have a great time. Happy anniversary. Save some cake for me.
Alex doesn't realize we didn't have cake.
I was going to say, wait, you guys got cake?
No,
I had cake last
somebody
night.
had
What are you
cake,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah,
they had cake. I had tequila.
yeah, I
There
had
you
a
go.
bun cake. Yeah.
Anyway, Alex, thank you so much for that. If you don't know who Alex is, check out the book Arcadia from Boom. Check out Turncoat from Boom. Check out Friendo from Vault. And definitely check out All Against All from Image Comics. Great stuff. And he's also doing the upcoming Casey Jones miniseries from IDW. So really, really excited. And maybe we can get Alex back on soon to have a chat. He was our very first creator interview, actually. And his internet fucking sucked. It really did. I was like, man, I don't know if we want to do this anymore. But anyway, tonight we're here to talk about this month's comics and what we loved so much about them. I've got my picks set up. Y'all have got y'all's picks set up. We have been doing this thing where Greg did this brilliant thing last year where he told everybody, like, who mentioned Transformers the most? Who was the Marvel shill? Like, who were the writers and the artists who were mentioned the most? And I believe Nick is still keeping track of all this shit.
Yeah.
It's
going to be more in depth than what I did.
well, now we know what we're going for, and I trust Nick and his analytical mind.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So if you see me down like this doing this whole thing, it's because I'm pulling stats and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's gonna be really funny if fucking Brian shows up on July out of nowhere and he winds up being the Marvel shill. That would be great. I would love that. Like,
that is
Brian,
not gonna happen.
only talk about Marvel books tonight. Okay, that's your go.
The least controversial run.
All right, let's get going. Pick of the month, the best comic of the month. Eric, why don't you start us off, by the way, man?
Ooh, I'm so glad I get to start off because there's a book that I wanted to talk about that is unquestionably the book of the month. I don't think that anyone's going to disagree with this without a shadow of a doubt. It's Kaya. Kaya is... we talk about it all the time, but it usually ends up in the runner-up, and I think it ends up in the runner-up or the roundup, the roundup section because it's so consistently good over and over and over. I gotta say, this issue might be the very best issue of the very best ongoing series in comics right now. This was stunning. I love what Wes Craig is doing here visually. I love what he's doing narratively. It's all building up towards the myth, right? Or the prophecy of the golden child, the chosen one that's going to save the world. And I love that they're playing with all of these interpersonal connections, right? The relationships. We've been building up and seeing Razel and Kaya come to heads, and it finally comes to fruition in this. But I gotta say, I think that Wes Craig leveled up artistically in this. Dude, look at this double page spread here. Let me see if I can get this.
To open the story up too. Bam.
To open the story. This is page 2, basically. Page 2 and 3. Man. Wes Craig is doing awesome things in this book. It's just such a joy to read, but this one really, really, really blew me away. I had a great time with this issue. Also, check out his Kickstarter for Thunderhead if you haven't already. But Kaya is totally my pick of the month.
I love Kaya. And this issue was great too, because as much as I love Kaya and what Wes Craig is doing, and we can talk about the art, and like one of the things I am the most obsessed about on Kaya and Wes Craig's like utilization of the page and composition is how much empty space we get. And I'm not talking about in a Frank Miller Wolverine or a Kenneth Rocafort New 52 kind of way. I'm talking about the gutters, right? Like I am not that guy who's so pretentious to like look at the gutters on a comic book page, but I notice what Wes Craig is doing in the pages of Kaya. Now, I could go on and on about how brilliantly it is told visually. But I could also be like, sometimes it does feel like the book kind of sits in a circle for a moment sometimes, right? Like, for instance, I've been waiting. What's the dude's name? Is it Raziel or
Razel?
Razel, yeah.
I've been waiting for, what's that, Brian?
Circles like these? From this page?
Good call, yeah.
Labor camp circles. Yeah.
So but like with that, for instance, I've been waiting for the moment that this motherfucker like turns, or that there's some kind of twist in the story to wrap up this bit and move it forward. It finally fucking happens, but it's still earned, right? This was a brilliant issue of Kaya. They all are. And I know that I've compared it multiple times to Bone, right? Meaning like it just seems like such an epic fantasy saga for pretty much near all ages. Bruh, I think it is something. And what I'm saying is it's not like Bone visually or even story-wise, but it's like Bone in the fact that it is timeless, right?
Big
like
time.
Like anybody could have read Bone back in the 90s and loved it, and we did, or the 2000s. But if you're reading it for the first time now, it's timeless, it's classic. It's not something that's of the moment. It is just great comic book making. That's what Bone is. That's what Kaya is, man. This book is amazing. More love, more sales, more eyes need to be in the pages of Kaya. What do you think, Nick? Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, in my review, I said I'm tired of this guy like always giving bombastic side eyes. You know what I mean? Like he's always kind of playing that you don't know if you could trust him or not mode, and of course you can't, right? So I'm with you. I'm waiting for the shit to hit the fan, to be honest with you. But Kai is just one of those books where I think if you've never read it before and he finally finishes that book, like reading it in collected editions is going to be like the best experience ever, because you can just get to those beats faster and not have to wait month after month. It's a very slim book. It's like 19 pages. It's a very fast read, but it's always beautiful to look at. The artwork, the coloring, and everything is amazing inside the book. You're mentioning like the gutters and stuff. He colors and draws right to the panel's edge, right? So there is no borders to anything. So he draws right to there. And what always threw me off in the beginning was like when he has speech bubbles that then overlap with the edge, it's that continuation of white up into the sides of the pages and stuff like that. Like it's really interesting artistically.
I love that.
So it's great. Compositions are awesome. It's a great kind of like a hero's journey. Like you can instantly resonate with any side, any character inside the story. And I envy the people that can read this in one sitting, a giant hardcover collection or omnibus or whatever it is. I envy those folks because they're going to have a great time going through this in one sitting or something like that. Wednesday Warring, this book is difficult, but I'm having a hell of a time doing it. So it's good stuff.
Hell yeah. I agree 100%. What about you, Brian? What do you think?
Oh yeah. I've always loved Kaya. Big fan of Wes Craig's. I was Deadly Class, one of my favorite series of all time. So, so when this Kaya, was announced, I was all over it. But yeah, I love the last two panels, even though, just the way he does that visually, with Razel and the golden one, and everything like
there's that smile, man. Yeah.
And the way the faces match too. Oh
yeah.
And the color change.
The color,
notice that, right? The subtle color change, right? Yeah. It's super cool.
Yeah. It's I'd definitely put it on par with Bone. I mean, and the similarities are pretty much there, because like both Jeff Smith and Wes Craig are really good at doing a lot with less, right? And they really understand visual language. I mean, it's like you don't have to keep looking at, you don't have to keep rereading a part, right? I mean, it's like it's all right there. Like I don't know, it's just I freaking love that book. Every time I see it coming out on the week, I'm just like,
Yep. And one of my favorite things about it is when it's in my weekly comic book review stack, I go, well, that's 2.5 minutes right there. So like that cuts down the amount of time I got to spend on it today. By the way, Pete, I agree with what you're saying. There are 4 trade paperbacks of Kaya out right now. So no more excuses, bruh. Go check them out. You can get them super cheap, man. What about you, Greg? You reading Kaya? I can't remember.
No, it's the same old that it's been. Every time Stu and Eric bring it up, I say, okay, I'm going to start it. I think I have issue 1. I think I have the first trade. And then it gets to Nick, and Nick goes, I'm envious of people who can hardcover weight this and consume it all at one time. And so I go, well, shoot, do I go ahead and read it and make Eric and Stu happy? Or do I wait, like Nick says, and make myself happy and, and take Nick's advice? So I've been holding out right now because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, gang.
Well, has he said how many it's going to run towards? I mean, it does feel like it's kind of
50-ish is what he said.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Right.
which makes sense. I think it's good. And like, honestly, I don't want it to end. And it is something that even I, at this point, because like I got this whole like section at my shop where it's Robbie's recommended reads or whatever, and I just recently put all 4 volumes of Kaya up there, and I walk by there every day to check and see if anybody bought any cool like Robert Crumb or Jim Rugg or fucking some crazy shit from people like Ben Mara or something like that. And every time I go over there and see the Kaya books, I'm like, man, I need to sit down and reread them. And I know it would take me 30 minutes. I know it would not take any time at all. But Kaya is one of the best books out there. It continuously is. We keep talking about it. I feel like we're the only 3 people, well, 4 including Stu, that talk about it pretty much month to month. I don't really hear a lot from other people. At my shop, it's actually a low-selling book. But, man, it is one of the best, bro.
Well, that like when it was coming out, I didn't think it was doing well, and so I kept bringing it up when because I was doing shows then, and but then it got to the point where we were all talking about it, and it seemed like maybe it was just bigger than than I was thinking and everything. But yeah,
Brian, you just got caught up on Kaya. This is your first monthly comic book review. I don't know what you're talking about, man. You're talking crazy right now.
I did get a Wes Craig commission of Star Watcher, by the way.
All right, weird stretch. All right, I got all 4 Fantastic Four AMC movie cups.
I mean, it's
I want to see it in IMAX again.
I gotta see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX. I need to see it in IMAX.
I saw it in IMAX. I loved it.
On Dolby, it was great, but yeah.
All right,
in general.
Nick, what about you? Could you imagine a Fantastic Four book by Wes Craig? That would be fucking amazing. Like, that would be so good. Now that's in my head. I want that. Like, I really do.
Man,
that all in.
Every Fantastic Four is gonna be disappointing now.
He's got a Darwin Cook kind of vibe to his work too. Does that make sense to you? Like, I'm talking about like the simplicity of the line, but the complexity of the image, right?
We need a D-Dubs Fantastic Four. That'd be amazing,
brother. If I could see the Thing power bombing Hulk or
Diablo,
even like, I would fucking go. Let's go, man. All right, Nick, what's your pick of the month, man?
There was a bunch of good books, but I'm gonna pick one that really, really surprised me because I was down on this book for a few issues before this issue came out. This issue came out and blew me away just because of how bold it was, how exciting it was, and the imagery and the vibe that it had blew me away. And I'm gonna talk about Absolute Batman, this latest issue that just came out, issue 10, I believe. This one was really, really interesting. I think the vibe was so dark. It's a very familiar situation where we have Bruce basically up against Bane. And what that means, right? He's in a prison system. It's a different kind of prison system. He's been broken. He's being broken. But the lengths that he goes to survive, all those little tricks that he has, the bobby pin in his mouth, ripping out his teeth, creating like brass knuckle kind of things out of that.
Making explosives out of bat shit.
Making explosives out of so he has tube feeding things that he's drawing the stomach acid out of and using that as a weapon to like burn through guards and whatever else. It's insane. And then every time he escapes, he gets a little glimpse of his situation, his surroundings, the prison system. Wayland, holy shit. Like the imagery of that scene alone, just how gnarly that guy was. The little backstory we got to kind of, break up the story a little bit. Every time that Bruce escapes, he sees a little bit more of the system. He realizes how screwed he is. And whenever he's caught, Bane's like, try again. You know what I mean? And like, he's like, I'm going to keep doing this to you. And we're going to keep pushing you to your limits and messing with you physically, psychologically. I was blown away by the issue. And there was a lot of good books, man. But I think that one surprised the hell out of me the most. And the imagery alone was insane. But I really dug the story too. So props to the team, man. Absolute Batman killed it.
Yeah, they really did, man. I mentioned Absolute Batman last month, I remember. And it was like number 9 was my pick of the week. Number 10 was my pick of the week. Because it comes out on certain weeks, right?
Yeah.
Where, its competition is maybe, it's easy to make it the pick of the week. But like, and honestly, I'm a huge mark for Bane. I love Bane. Bane is like, to me, like almost near Mount Rushmore, if not a Mount Rushmore villain within the Rogues Gallery, which is the best Rogues Gallery in comics, which is Batman's Rogues Gallery. And I was there for the creation of Bane. I read Bane's first appearance as it was coming out. I read Nightfall as it was coming out. It was crazy. And what's even crazier is that Scott Snyder's decided for his second story arc, basically, of Absolute Batman to do Nightfall. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's doing. And he's breaking Batman. And he's doing it mentally, spiritually, and physically. And that's why Bane is such an interesting villain to me. I also love the troll aspect of the story being called Abomination, because who is it? Graham Nolan, I believe, is the co-creator of Bane with Chuck Dixon. And he came out and said, oh, this looks terrible. He's got such a tiny head. He's so big. It's, bruh, Kelly Jones did those fucking issue covers that you did, man. Like, were you telling Kelly Jones that it was abominable? Like, get the fuck out of here. And Nick Dragotta is doing some amazing fucking work here. The only sad thing is he's not the artist on the next issue, I believe. And then he comes back. But Nick just can't keep that kind of a schedule. But god damn it, keep Nick Dragotta on this book. Keep him cooking. He is the selling point. Frank Miller, manga. Like, Frank Miller already has a manga influence in his work. You can see it very prevalently in books like Ronin, right? Where he was reading, in particular, Lone Wolf and Cub. I think that was a big influence on him. I can't remember the creator of Lone Wolf and Cub. Anybody remember that dude's name?
Kojima and Kyoki and Kojima.
Yeah, you can see that. And what I love about Ronin is Ronin seems like Frank Miller understanding Eastern comics, European comics, and bringing that to American comics, right? And what Nick Dragotta is doing is he's giving us the Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller compositions, but at the same time, he has this pace and like this frenzy of kinetic energy that you get from like manga in particular. There's a lot of Otomo put in there. If you look at his work on Ghost Cage, that's like a love letter to Otomo. You know what I'm saying? So Dragotta is amazing. His Bane is probably my favorite Bane we've ever seen. The story, though, is great too. There were things about this issue that reminded me of his best issue of Batman in the New 52, which was the one where Batman gets captured by the Court of Owls, and you got to like turn the book around and he's in the labyrinth and all that shit. Yep. It gave me that kind of vibe, but it was done a little bit differently. Yes. Holy shit, y'all. Scott Snyder, anytime this new dude needs to rejuvenate himself or revitalize his career, just do another Batman run, bruh. Because he's had so many separate great Batman runs, right? Yeah. When Dick Grayson was Batman, he did work with Jock and Francavilla. When Bruce came back, and then there was New 52. We did a great run with Greg Capullo. He's done a bunch of cool miniseries. I mean, Scott Snyder is the Batman guy. Like when I think of Batman, I think Frank Miller. As far as creators go, I think Frank Miller, and I think Bill Finger with Bob Kane. Y'all like that? Y'all like what I did there? Yes. And then Scott's fucking Snyder, man. Scott Snyder is like, he might have written this character more than anybody at this point, and in so many different iterations, so many different ways, and it still always somehow stays fresh and different and unique. Part of that is because Scott knows how to work with really great artists. And the number one job of a comic book writer is, especially if you have pull, is to know how important the art is and let those artists do what they do. He let Capullo do what he does. He lets Jock do what he does, Francavilla, and now Dragotta. And it's just absolutely stellar. What about you, Brian? You got thoughts on Absolute Batman?
Oh, I love it. I do recognize, like, some of the stuff is just bonkers, but I think it's supposed to be. I mean, like, I'm perfectly okay with that. Partly because also visually all that stuff looks cool. That axe looks fucking cool, man. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. Yeah, I can't really add much to the conversation. I love it, but it's like, if you put Nick Dragotta on a book, I'm in, no matter what. I mean, I do think that is the strength of the book, but the kind of the bonker stuff just doesn't faze me at all. I'm like, this is just, it's meant to be just wild and and go. Right.
Scott Snyder knows it, man. He is like the Rob Liefeld of writers, right? We're like, what I mean by that is that like Rob or Todd, maybe Todd McFarlane's probably the better comparison there, but like Todd knows that you got to do certain things visually in every comic book you do that make people go, what the fuck? That's crazy. Right. Yeah. And Scott does that narratively, right? Like, it's dumb as shit, dude. When in Dark Knight's Metal, when Batman's got a baby Darkseid on a fucking harness on his chest and he's using him as a weapon, I'm like, that is the dumbest fucking thing, but it's so fucking cool.
I love it.
Right? Like, it's like the dumbest shit. Like on Monday Night Raw this week, this motherfucker beats the shit out of Roman Reigns and then steals his goddamn Air Jordans. That's so fucking stupid. You're on live TV, you're gonna steal this dude's shoes, but at the same time, you're like, that's so fucking awesome. And like when he's spitting goddamn stomach acid at people, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. It makes no sense. But man, I'm here for it. And the book itself is dumb. It's like Batman. What about a Batman with no money? This dude has no money. Get the fuck out of here. Like he's got like a giant fucking Batmobile that fucking shrinks and then grows. It's so stupid.
Kevlar ain't cheap.
And it's so awesome because sometimes we forget the number one most important thing about comic books. They should be fun. And this book is fun. What about you, Greg?
It is absolute Batman is he has money. He has no rules because there's no rule design on how to create this comic at all. I like it. It's but I like it for all the reasons you all have said. Like it is what going into it, I know what I'm getting, right? Like I'm not sitting there going like and looking at the logistics of how does the tube with your stomach acid, well, you've been in there for 9 months and how are you still surviving? Like you do kind of suspend disbelief and I say this and not as a knock, but it to me, I go in like how I go in with Fast and the Furious movies a lot of times. Like I know it's going to be over the top. It's going to be bonkers. Ludacris is going to drive a car into space. And I don't need it to make sense of why that actually works or what happens to the logistics of that. I'm here for the fun. And I think there's a place for comics to have your popcorn fun as well as then like your, very heavy handed, dark or whatever, very in-depth storytelling that like where you have to have every integral part make sense. And I don't think that's a knock. I don't say that as a knock to, Scott and Nick, because it's been a lot of fun. And I think that's what you have to go in going like people go, oh, well, the huge axe that just comes off his chest. Like it makes no sense. Who cares? It's awesome. And I think that's where it is. It still is in the first of the first three absolutes. It's still my third favorite, but that's not a knock on the book. Like the other two, I just think are still just that good. It's been a fun. I know. I think last time we talked about issue 9, and I know Stu maybe it was Stu that was like had issues with why, or maybe I don't remember one of us. It was you, Eric, who was like it's not different enough. It was Eric. Like what's Bane? What are we missing? And I think it's true to this too. Like we're just seeing a different variation, right? When he gets his back broken, he's out for a long time, and it's this whole kind of. Can we explain it in a different way with some of the underlying elements? And the visually with Killer Croc, like that splash page is wild. And like that was like there's those Nick Dragata moments where it's just like that's great. But I mean, gang, this is so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like that's so dope. And I'm excited to see kind of like where that relationship and how it goes about. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, I love your comparison to Fast and Furious, but it's almost like what if Fast and Furious was exactly what it was, but Dean Cundy was the director of photography and Ennio Morricone did the score, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you're like, holy shit. What about you, Eric? You had some thoughts on issue number 9. What do you think about issue number 10?
Issue number 10. So I said that Kaya was my favorite issue of that series so far. I have to say, issue 10 of Absolute Batman was my favorite issue of Absolute Batman so far. It didn't do anything to make my feelings change about the differences or lack of differences, but I stopped giving a crap about any of it. And I just buckled up and had a good time. You guys have said it all. I totally agree with all of the assessments on there. I think it was really bombastic in a good way. But I got to say, you guys missed the mark on the best moments of the book, which is nude Bruce.
The best.
I love the thump.
I know we were gonna DC Black Label something here real quick. I'm like, oh man, is this the second appearance of Bat Dong? Like, man.
We were this close. They just couldn't be bombastic enough. But honestly, those moments they made me like laugh out loud when I was reading the book. And I'm sure it wasn't meant to like really make me laugh out loud, but there was a tinge of humor there.
I think it was.
It kind of leans into the manga thing, because of Robbie, I'm reading Akira, right? And I'm working my way through that. And there are moments of humor in that book that can get incredibly heavy as well. So I like that Dragota's leaning into that. I feel like something clicked in my brain where my enjoyment level like skyrocketed with this issue.
Yeah, good call.
Hell yeah, man. I love the love right now for Absolute Batman because that's been the absolute book that we were all unsure about at first. And as it progresses, we're like, this is becoming like one of my favorites right now. Like, I read Absolute Batman. I know there's a week coming up. There's an Absolute Batman. I get so fucking excited, man. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm
good
loving
feeling,
it.
man.
I'm loving it, man. It is dumb as shit. But you know what? Superman pulling that goddamn cellophane off of his chest and throwing it at the goddamn General Zod and all of his people and rapping. What the fuck is that? Nobody fucking ever talks about that. You know what I'm saying? So like Batman can pull a goddamn axe off of his chest. So
that was a minor inconvenience.
What about you, Brian? What's your pick of the month, man? And don't steal mine. I will fucking never let you back on this show. So there you go.
Okay, I don't know.
And everybody knows what my pick of the month is. Okay, so
I don't. I have a guess, but I'm gonna go with Absolute Wonder Woman. This is definitely one of my favorite books. The cover for this one is also, it's just so dope. I mean, like, I don't know, Hayden's just killing it.
Show it off.
I don't understand how they're so prolific, honestly. I mean, you know, with Dark Patterns and there's that Dark Horse book they're doing. Into the Unbeing.
Into the Unbeing.
Like
They also just did a segment in Godzilla versus Boston.
Yeah, that's in my stack. Here off to the side. And that was great too. But like, one thing I like about this is Wonder Woman's raised in a different circumstance, but it's still the Wonder Woman we know, like the inspiring, good, kind, strong, and everything like that. And I think it's, that's pretty well encapsulated in this page here where she's with Cersei, and getting prepared to go face a god to be tested for the first time, and it's like Cersei says, it is almost hypnotic to experience you. Like she's a miracle of this, being kind and, trying to work with these monsters first and everything like that. And then her last line on that page is, I'm not afraid of gods, and she's still a child. Right. It's just like, just the emotions that kind of come through reading Absolute Wonder Woman are just, they hit hard, and I think there is a joke or two in this one too, if I remember correctly. But the other page I wanted to point out is this double page spread there where she goes down into the pit. Just about every page for Hayden can be shown off, right? I mean, that's one of the great things, like I think a lot of these creators are doing now, like Jesse Lonergan, which is also in the Godzilla vs. Boston, and Hayden. They do all these amazing things with panels that, it just, you can just stare at that stuff for hours. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's, but that was, when I read that this month, I was like, I was pretty sure this is already my book of the month. Just, I reread it today and everything, and it's just as hard. I don't know. I've been geeking out over Absolute Wonder Woman this whole time. So
yeah,
good stuff.
It's an amazing book. It's really fun, man. It made with just 3 issues. It made my top 5 of last year. It just won an Eisner, right?
Yes.
Like I love to see Hayden in particular getting their flowers. Hayden's work is absolutely insane. The story is cool. And I love what you mentioned, because I've been mentioning this on my channel too. If you look at all the other Absolute books, the whole thing is they exist in a world that's kind of created with dark side energy. So there is no hope in this world. There is only despair and dark side, right? So Superman has no family. Batman has no money, allegedly. But all these characters are in different situations, but they feel different. Clark feels, or I don't think he's actually not even Clark, right? But like Superman feels different than the typical Superman in Absolute Superman. Batman feels different. Martian Manhunter is a whole different fucking thing,
whole different
right?
world.
And Wally West is different in Flash, and all the Green Lanterns are showing up in Absolute Green Lantern. Very different. Wonder Woman, it's a whole different situation, whole different set of stories, whole different power set. But Diana is still Diana. And that's something Kelly Thompson is doing so fucking spectacularly well in the pages of Absolute Wonder Woman, where it's so different, but still so truly not just unique, but at the same time it's unique, but it's also very truly centered around the core of that character. What do you think, Greg?
Man, this has been one of my favorite Absolute series. I think from the get-go, like a lot of us said, like it was our top dog. I have not loved this arc as much as I love the first arc. So I think there are still moments, but for whatever reason, I haven't been able to get hooked into this one as much. I kind of want to see a little bit more with the character they introduced in the first issue of this arc. I'm forgetting
like Dr. Poison or whatever.
Dr. Poison and something like, yeah, like so. Again, like everything you all have said, Hayden's artwork, their artwork is fantastic. Like, and to get Diana to be who she is still, like that's why we read a lot of these superhero books, right? Like we want something different, but we still want to recognize our characters and why we fell in love with those characters throughout it for the most part, or otherwise I think it's going to feel, if Wonder Woman doesn't feel like Wonder Woman, I feel like I'm going to be like, well, why am I reading this? Right. I want Wonder Woman to have those moments of hope and those things like that we're getting. I haven't loved this arc as much, but that's still not a knock. Like I'm not enjoying it. It just hasn't been up to what that first arc was for me.
All right. I can vibe with that. What about you, E? What are you thinking?
I dug it. It's still my favorite Absolute book. And it all predicates down to like the distilled version of Diana, which was, optimism and charm. And I think that they dial that in every single issue when she's escaping the labyrinth with not the person that she was with initially, the Minotaur, but the small child, and having to go back to get the Minotaur and kind of explaining that process and using, like you were talking about, Robbie, the power set that she now has, using the witchcraft to navigate herself through the labyrinth and be able to escape, but then also go back. It just speaks to the character. And Hayden Sherman, their artwork, I'm so glad that I was introduced to them through books like Wasted Space and through the work that they had done previously with Sean Lewis. And it's great to see how their artwork has evolved throughout the years. And they kind of really cemented a really fantastic, style that has resonated with a lot of people. But it's also just a bit different than Batman Dark Patterns. They're still kind of, it's the same band playing a different song. And I kind of dig that. So, yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman is a blast. I'm loving it.
Hayden blows my ass away, dude. Read The Few.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, their
The
collaborations
great,
with Sean. The Few. Thumbs. Look at Thumbs.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Thumbs.
Look at
Brilliant.
Above Snakes.
Yep.
Oh,
right? Yeah. Look and look at all the work that Hayden does. And Hayden always completely captures the tone needed for that specific book. What was the fucking shit that we love to talk about? Scott Snyder. He's a very fucking big writer, but he can't really get a lot of like certain projects off the ground. Remember, what was it? Dark Spaces?
Dark Pattern?
Dark Spaces, that dungeon one, right?
Dark Spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Dungeon and then fucking Wildfire. Like,
Wildfire.
Look at the difference in the art Hayden is doing in those books. And just the fact that Hayden does 2.5 comics a month on average, it feels like, that's ridiculous.
And traditionally, too.
Ridiculous, man.
It's traditional, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, I got a couple pages recently. I lucked out. One of them it was a Dark Patterns one. It was really cool. It had a Scarface walking with his tongue in the box. Sorry.
Wow.
Nice.
And then, but on the back, they used it for Into the Unbeing. So I bought a Dark Patterns page and ended up with 2. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Into the Unbeing, it's a wild book in itself,
It
too.
is,
And
man.
that leans way into their style.
Yeah. But
what about you, Nick?
I was just going to say, like, their ability to change tone on all the story, I mean, it's like you were saying, Eric, the skill has been leveling up, but even early though, the tone, they were able to master the tone so quickly, and create it. Great. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're fine. What about you, Nick? What you sitting on with this book, Absolute Wonder Woman?
Yeah, it's still sitting up there comfortably at number 1 for my Absolute stuff. I think I'm just still blown away after all these issues about how great the characterization is. Like, I think by far in the Absolute line, it's the best characterization that we have, right? I think Superman has the best world building to match the theme of the Absolute world.
I agree with that.
And Manhunter's like its own fucking thing. Like, that's
Manhunter's
really
the most innovative.
It's the most innovative. Great point. But like, I do agree with Greg. This arc is 15% less interesting than the first one, I would say, but I'm still blown away by how she's portrayed in the story itself. and how great and honest and true and whatever it is, right? So like I'm still refreshed every single issue just from that perspective. So.
I think that Kelly's doing a better job with the character of Diana than Tom is right now. And I think Tom's doing a decent enough job.
Now,
for this of mice and men shit, though, I don't know what the fuck Tom is thinking. I think he had 1 year of stories planned, and then they were like, "We're going to keep you on the book," and he's like,
"Oh shit,
fuck." What about a mouse guy?
yeah, I don't know, man. That's falling off the rails for me, but yeah, I agree totally.
Hell yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman continues to be one of the best books of the month, and we pretty much all agree. What about you, Greg? What's your pick of the month, man?
Well, let me put away Wonder Woman Mouse Man by Tom King. Because that's not making
you just stuffed that all the way down.
Well, that's gone away.
That shit, by the way, really blows. I'm just saying, it really fucking blows. When Tom King tries to get cheeky, he loses my ass, dude. Like, seriously.
It's been a while since you've had some Tom King hate from you on this show.
I know. I haven't had much of it.
It was needed from you.
So this year, man.
Robbie, I have a feeling your chat's gonna start to just call this show a bunch of shills for DC. Because I'm gonna do it. I thought Eric might steal it, maybe Nick. Y'all know what's me though, gang. Batman and Robin Year One is so freaking good. And this is Mark Waid understands these characters, and him coming back to DC, doing what he's doing with stuff at DC has been one of the best things for comics. Pairing him with Chris Samnee here, the artwork, the facial expressions that you get with, there's this panel where like, this is such a great book about, it's them trying to figure out how to be a father and son duo, right? When he didn't have a father, he had Alfred, but and who was a father figure for him. He's still trying to figure out how he parents a teenager, but then he's also trying to figure out how to be a partner / mentor as a hero, and to see those dynamics and to see the separation throughout those panels. There's a couple scenes where like, good God, Mark Waid, you tug on my heartstrings, but like where they're having this whole conversation about, how Robin acted in this moment, and they're in the Batmobile, and he's just talking about this, your split second wrong. And Batman can tell that Robin's like hurt, that he knows he let him down. And Batman's look, no wording. It just is this just heartbroken look. Like, holy cow. Oh yeah. Like, it's those moments that Chris Samnee, those eyes, like you feel the hurt that he feels in that moment as someone who cares deeply for Robin in this. And then you have the moment where Alfred is trying to step in with him and be the mentor for him. And like, and this whole dialogue, he's trying to get him to open up, and Dick Grayson's just kind of holding it in, and he doesn't want to. And like, he just shouts at, he's like, performers don't cry. And then he just embraces Alfred. I'm getting like emotional, like just recapping it. Like I'm like sitting there reading it, like getting like, holy cow, the emotion. And then like just a story in and of itself of trying to figure out, and how the bad guy's figuring out these moments of like who he thinks. Like, this is just a great story with great characterizations. This is going to be, I think, one that's going to stand the test of time, that when it comes out, because I think it's only going to be 12 issues, and it saddens me, but I'm okay with it because I know it's going to be such a complete story that they want to tell, that this is going to be a trade you give it at Christmas. You give it to someone like, oh, you like Batman and Robin? Here, read this. And I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed in it and go, well, I don't like this version or what they're doing. I think absolutely knocking it out of the park. If you have Batman fatigue, Batman and Robin Year One should be on your list to read.
Yeah, I think if you read one Batman book in a month, this is the one that really matters right now. I love this fucking book. It is so good, so much fun. So I'll tell you this: I loved Batman growing up. Everybody loves Batman growing up. If you were born past 1966, you love Batman. You're just ingrained into pop culture. It's like one of those things that you are born and you know what Batman in his world is. You know what I'm saying? Like you just know it's just a part of it, right? So there have been a lot of iconic Batman stories, right? And one of my favorite things when people ask me, "Hey man, I want to get into comics. I've never read a comic. What should I do?" I go, "Well, the first thing they need is a superhero book because they can, that's like the entry level, and I need something that's also really good. Batman Year One." And then I always go, "Well, Batman Year One." They go, "Man, I loved it. What do I read next? I want to know the rest of the story." And I go, "Batman Long Halloween is what I give them," right?
Yeah.
Because it acts as like Batman Year Two, way better than the actual Batman Year Two we got. Alan Davis, Todd McFarlane, great artwork, but the story's kind of like whack, right? Yeah. Mask of the Phantasm is way better. I should actually be like, for your second thing, watch Mask of the Phantasm. But so then I go right into Dark Victory, because Dark Victory kind of tells the story of Robin. And when I was a kid growing up reading Batman books, as much as I love Batman, I would be disappointed when I watched an episode of the animated series or read an issue of Batman and there was no Robin. I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, like my name is Robin, right? So like, give me Robin in my Batman, but I love that character. And man, oh fucking man. Now from Long Halloween to Dark Victory, there's something in between. And it's Batman and Robin Year One. This book is amazing. And it's unfair how amazing Chris Samney and Mateus Lopez are. Like, get the fuck out of here. This book's perennial. It's evergreen. We've talked about that. It's one of the best books out there. And people are sleeping on it. But this is not a book designed for Wednesday Warriors. This is a book designed for comic book fans and new comic book fans for years and decades to come. Eric, what do you think?
I think it's designed for everyone in all versions, in all facets. This is going to make a great collected edition. This is going to make a great artist edition someday too, though. And I cannot wait to own that version and see Chris Samney's artwork in the largest format possible. I got to echo everything that Greg said. I totally stole this pick from you last month, and I was not going to let that happen this month here. So yes, you're welcome, my friend. As a parent, watching those two moments that you called out totally resonated with me through and through, because we've all had those moments where our kids are harder on themselves than we would ever be in those moments. Like, we want to be supportive, and they're just like, nope, I messed up. I messed up big time. Same thing with the Alfred moment, man. I'm getting, I got choked up reading it. It was an amazing moment. It made me miss the character of Alfred, but in that same vein, it made me appreciate Alfred so much more too. That moment that he had with Dick Grayson, masterclass. But what I really enjoy about not just this issue, it's an example of the greater parts of the storyline, but this issue as well, is that Mark Waid is doing a really good job at keeping the A plot, which is the relationship building between Batman and Dick Grayson and Alfred, and they keep progressing that issue after issue after issue. And we see that we get like really good pacing with that. But we get the slow burn of the villainous arc that's happening because we've spent so much time with the Grimaldis throughout all of this, and we're like, oh, well, they're a big deal, man. Things are popping off in Gotham, and they're gonna, things change. Things change in a big bad way in this issue. And that was really exciting to see how all of the things through, this is issue 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, it is really cool how things have coalesced with the greater parts of those 9 issues for the villainous arc, and now we kind of get to see how things have truly been playing out. So not just with the Grimaldis, though. So I really appreciate the how they're pacing out the storyline for those plot A, plot B things.
Yeah.
I thought when I came back from going to the bathroom that Nick would be talking, but Eric was still talking. That was awesome. Were you stretching because I was gone? Is that what you were doing? Or is that
no? It's just that good of a book.
Just how much you love this book.
It's so good.
Hell yeah!
I'm a professional, damn it.
You got thoughts on this book, man? I know you do, because it's a great comic.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. It was one of my favorites of the month for sure. The only thing I'll add to that is just how cinematic the book really is. I mean, if you look through it, the pacing of the book, the transitions between scenes, the little moments, the things they decide to focus on to help you transition your brain from one scene to the next, it's awesome. It's one of those books that does it perfectly, I think. So yeah, when you're looking and you have those quiet moments and you have those transition scenes, Robin's juggling and the balls drop when he asks the questions. You know what I mean? Like, there's moments like that where you're just like, oh wow, they really know how to do some storytelling without some dialogue.
Excellent.
And I just love that quality about this book. So good.
It's excellent cartooning, man. It's so fucking good. It you don't even have to read the dialogue. You will understand what's going on in this book.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And not to discount what Mark Waid is doing, because he's doing a great job too. Like Mark Waid is in a fourth wind in his comic book writing career right now. And it's insane.
It's
man.
crazy.
This dude's been working for so long. Most of the time, a writer has like a good 10 years and then it's kind of over. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Claremont books today are not like what they were in the 70s.
Yeah.
But they also weren't that way in the fucking 2000s and the 90s. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Brian? Speaking of only getting better with age, what do you think about this Mark Waid led Batman and Robin?
Than last night. But yeah, no, I'm loving this book. Greg, I think you mentioned Batman fatigue. I'm not sure I've ever experienced that in my life.
I haven't either, but I hear it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have like not read like the main Batman title, just because I didn't like the team.
That's the key.
But it's not like I don't, I'm reading that one. Absolute. I'm getting Detective. It's pretty good. But Dark Patterns. So yeah, like I don't know. It's hard to understand Batman fatigue. But yeah, no, I'm loving this book too, and yeah, I'm glad Mark Waid's pumping out some bunch of books again, because I don't know if there is a bigger comic scholar out there, especially when it comes to superheroes. I mean, dude's phenomenal, resource and everything like that. Yep. So yeah,
it's Mark Waid and Tom Brevoort. Those are like the two guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't have anything new to add on this book. I love it every time it comes out, and yeah, I agree that like there's only 3 more issues left, and that's kind of sad. But some of the best stories, right? 12 issues. It's a good chunk at the end of the day. But there's a lot to pretty good paced story. Over that kind of length. So.
All great comic book stories and all great stories in general have one thing in common. They have an ending. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, and that's the way it works. So great pick, Greg. So great pick so far. A lot of love for DC this month.
Yeah.
Will that continue with my pick?
Nope.
No, I'm going to Image. Shocker. I'm going to say, I know nobody was anticipating this, but Assorted Crisis Events issue number 5 is my pick of the month. And as of right now, I think it's my favorite single issue of the year. Does that sound familiar? How fucking crazy is that? That I go, Assorted Crisis Events, the pick of the week. And then I go a couple weeks later, Assorted Crisis Events, the pick of the month. And this might be my favorite singular issue of the year so far. The innovation keeps moving forward. Now, Dennis is a friend of W. Maxwell Prince, who does Ice Cream Man, which had an issue out this week. And I cannot wait until the October monthly comic book review. We're talking
so
about
crazy.
a deck of fucking cards, man. I cannot wait for this.
Hey, is that can you order that yet?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll let you know. It's a
The
deck of cards.
October issue of Ice Cream Man is a deck of cards that tells a story.
I got that pre-ordered for sure.
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're almost like they look like Magic the Gathering cards.
They're like players and events and stuff.
Robbie,
what?
Can you sign me up for that? Can I ask for that?
You're signed up for Ice Cream Man. You're gonna get it already. Yeah. I cannot wait till people go, why the fuck did I get this deck of cards in my box?
What kind of bag do I use?
Ice Cream Man is an anthology book that is also very experimental and innovative with the way it tells stories visually and narratively, and every issue is different, right? With a common thread, but that it's kind of totally gotten away from for the most part for the last couple of years, right? Assorted Crisis Events. So Dennis knows W. Maxwell Prince, and I know that they talk. And I feel like Dennis was inspired by Prince's work with Martin Morazzo, Chris O'Halloran, and good old Neon on Ice Cream Man. So every comic book that Dennis Camp has ever done, I see the love of the medium and the love of pushing the medium forward. Whether we're talking about 20th Century Men, Agent of World, which has no collected edition because of all the bullshit that came about from the fallout of Scout Comics. Like, y'all, Agent of World is way too good. And why are people not talking about how amazing Dennis and Philia are on that book,
Right.
on an everyday level in the comic book shops, right? It's crazy.
Because
Anyway, that being said,
collected.
yeah, Dennis knows what he's doing.
Maxwell's.
And he always really picks passion projects and works with artists that he feels will move things forward. But man, is he being innovative as fuck this year with Assorted Crisis events. So issue number 5 is about a woman who's experienced like a minute of very intense trauma in her life. And obviously when something like that happens to an individual, that will replay in their life going forward, right? But in the whole idea that this is a world in which DC Crisis events are happening and we are just dealing with it, you add in the idea that she literally lived this 1 minute period for who knows how long, because time was looping over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. The way he's able to take these crisis event DC comic scenarios and apply it to a mundane level on a very real level that resonates and is nuanced and obvious, that's such a talent to be able to do that. But then you got Eric Zawadzki, who is also doing every issue in a different way, compositionally, design-wise. Hell, even his line work is the same, but the layouts, the design, everything is different. Jordy, her coloring is consistent, and that's something that ties everything together as well. Haas on the lettering, like the best letterer in the business right now, period. Just what, like, he's on the Mount Rushmore of letterers, period, in comics. There you go, right? He's up there with like Todd Klein. Like, that's how prestigious I think this dude's work has gotten. But then you have Dennis and Eric literally redesign and recontextualize and reimagine to maximum effect. Not just the flow of a page, of a comic book page, which we all know this Z thing, and they play with that, but to literally reinvent the 9-panel grid. Bruh. Like, that to me was like, this might be one of the single best issues of a comic I've ever read in my life. This is that good. I'm not just saying that, like, because I like Dennis. I'm not just saying that because I personally like the book. I'm saying that as a lover and a passionate connoisseur of comics and the medium of this art form. Get the fuck out of here. This is one of the most brilliant, innovative, pushing things forward comics I've ever read. 9-panel grid, they reinvented you. What did you think?
I think it's really hard to disagree with you about the single issue. I think we have some contenders, but I think that this deserves a spot among contention. Eric Zawadzki, that the name it's shocking to me, and we've talked about this in the past, that they haven't done a whole plethora of other things, because the work that they're doing here is the work of a person who has been in the medium for a long time. We'd mentioned names like Hayden Sherman and the way that they compose a page and how inventive that is. Brian, you brought up Jesse Lonergan does the same exact thing. Reading this issue and reading previous issues, he played with it a little bit, but this issue in particular does the same type of thing. The repeating motifs and the repetition, the circle that you kind of go through, and how Dennis Camp works through that. It's the trauma and how a person deals with trauma in their own unique way. And sure, it's done through the scope of the crisis, but it's also the way that people perceive it and have to deal with it in their own lives under the most common and, normal circumstances. It's still something you deal with, and you relive it in your mind over and over and over, just the same way that this person is dealing with it in the issue. It's a great issue. I'm really kind of shocked. I don't think that the series is ending, but this is the last one that I have on my pull. It's the last one solicited. Maybe Robbie, like
they're on a break, but they're
on a break, right?
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This issue I think was the best single issue that we've gotten from the series. It also played with a little bit of the greater idea of the Jetpack Man too, which I really appreciated, because it's building out the scope of the story.
He's the ice cream man of the series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I echo a lot of what you said here. Zawadzki, I think, is the superstar of this issue, though, because I feel like that the visual storytelling was masterful. So I loved it. It was a good one.
Hell yeah.
Great pick.
Hell yeah. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I love this one a lot. I read it today, and it's definitely one of the issues that I need to reread again, because I feel like there's certain things or certain patterns that you can pick up on a multiple reread, and that's kind of the case with a lot of these ones. You're right.
Quick,
the composition.
How cool. Did y'all notice that, like, sometimes those pages, like, you could restart reading it and just keep going in a loop?
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you were talking about the 9-panel grid. You can start. I basically started right at the top, and you can just circle right around, and it reminded me of a carpet, almost like the squares of a carpet. But there are some pages that have circles inside of them that match the carpet that she passes out on in the beginning of the book. So there's little things like that you don't really notice when you're just kind of reading through and you're manipulating the page and spinning it around, and that infinity symbol panel where like you're just trying to figure out what's going on, and she's noticing these patterns, and she's living in this world. It was a great book about trauma. It's a great book about, reliving the worst parts of your life over and over again. It's tied into this cool world where there's a time crisis going on, and she's the only one experiencing this particular flavor of it. And she goes to like that, AA for time, whatever people, right? And that's her specific instance, and other people have their instance too. And so it's just really cool. But it's also a book about hope and everything, right? Like, you don't have to live in those patterns, those cycles. You could admit it. You can keep pushing forward regardless of what happens to you. So it's an inspirational book too. Very not like some of the other issues where we have where it's all doom and gloom, and the processing factory. Remember, with the cows and stuff. Like, there's certain issues in this. Yeah, certain issues in this story are very doom and gloom, but there's a really cool psychological twist to it. This one, it was that plus hopeful, and I think that's a better combination of emotion when you're reading it. Amazing compositions, changing the game for sure. And I love this issue too. Yeah, it's especially this week where it was like everything was decent, and this one just like spiked, right? I was like, wow, okay, well, that's clear.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the Mobius strip, like double page spread. Yeah. And the first thing I thought of was like, this is such a great usage of that. Yeah. By the way, if you want to see great usage of the Mobius strip in a comic book, check out the, I don't remember the issue number, but Rick Veitch did an issue of TMNT that was like a race on a Mobius strip. And it's like, such a great fucking
in the
issue.
30s,
like,
probably something like
it's
that.
It's like in the 20s, I think, maybe in the 30s.
Yeah.
But like, I want to say 26, but I may be getting confused because he did like another 3-issue set. But I own them all because they won't be reprinted, y'all, because Rick and Kevin, not very cool right now. What about you, Brian? What do you think about Assorted Crisis Events?
Well, yeah, I mean, you brought up the 9-panel grid one. The last one on there I thought was, when you're talking about hope, I mean, it starts, with the dark colors and, ends in the light and everything like that. That was the one thing that stood out to me in this issue. Like you were saying, Nick, I mean, some of them, yeah, I mean, they're beautiful bummers, but I mean, they're kind of down. But also I like that it was at a support group, which everybody sits in a circle to, and everything like that. But yeah, it's, I remember, going into the comic book store one day and Robbie recommended Maxwell's Demons to me. And, so that was my first introduction to Dennis Camp. And even back then, I'm sure you guys noticed like Groundhog Day in there,
Phil Connors,
Bill Murray holding the microphone and everything. And another thing I like about Dennis, obviously Groundhog Day is a popular movie and everything like that, but he pulls things from literature, movies. I mean, he's got really good taste, right? And part of the art in that did remind me of the issue in Maxwell's Demons, where he's kind of going through different areas and universes and stuff like that. And there's a 2-page spread that's based on a short story by Jorge Luis Borges, who's like kind of the godfather of what do they call that? Magical realism. It's like this. It's the short story. I think it's really prescient. It's like it's called The Library. It imagines an infinite library where like every room is like a hexagon and it just like kind of all connects, but it has all of the information.
I watched a goddamn YouTube video about that, bro.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. And you can find a YouTube Audible version of it. It's only like 20 minutes. I mean, it's not a long story. But like, part of the point is that everybody in there is mad. They're driven insane by all this knowledge and everything like that. I found that pretty prescient, you know, and that's one of the main reasons I love reading Dennis's work. It opens up, you know, other avenues and other things to find and everything like that. And, you know, he loves that one and done kind of thing with a thread going through, and he challenges himself with those, you know, and I think that's just wonderful to see. And I agree with everybody. I think this is the best issue of the run so far. But like, I mean, I've probably reread each one 2 or 3 times already. I mean, they're just that good, you know. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I hate to hear it's on a break, but you know, I mean, you know, it's always better to get them in a chunk, right?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, let some pages stack up, you know, and then, you know, get back into it, right?
Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it, man. What about you, Greg? What do you think?
Man, this is where this show, kudos to the show. I think 1 and 2, I wasn't really set on this series, and I was probably going to drop it, but I didn't because I knew you jabronis were going to be reading it. And
yeah, well, there was like a day or two where you thought about not eating a hamburger, at least, right after you read issue number 2, right?
And then I picked up issue 3 because I was like, I know they're going to talk about it, and I have to read it. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. This works. And the same thing with 4. I love this issue as well. I don't know if I loved it more than issue 4 or no, issue 3. I think issue 3 is still up there as the one that I liked the best. But like the moments that you all talked about of already, I think my only knock on it is a little gets lost for me of the mechanics of reading it. This is one you have to reread and kind of sit down a little bit, because there were moments I'm like, where do I start? And I get it. That's the whole point aspects of this book. But as a reader, there was a little bit of getting lost in that for me. As much as I appreciated and I don't want to say a gimmick, because it isn't a gimmick. Like, there are gimmicks where it's like, you got to turn your book around to enjoy the book. Like, this is very purposeful for what it was doing. But I think some of the nuances there, you can get lost in it. Or at least I can, because I'm not, you know, I'm a more casual reader. Sometimes I think like that. But, you know, I those moments that they talk about, like, no one else believes the time loops, but there are people out there like Brian said, the weatherman in Philadelphia. You had Andy Samberg with Palm Springs. Who the heck is the Lush from East Village? Because that drove me insane, because I was like, I didn't pop out. Because I instantly was like Groundhog Day. I was like instantly Palm Spring. But okay, so if y'all don't know either, then I don't feel as bad. But no, I thought this was good. I do like that you mentioned that this is one where there's a little bit of hope at the end, where, you know, the time one last month was so depressing. I'm just like, oh, it's your moment's gone. Oh,
dude, I literally had a customer tell me, because I was putting some books back on the new release wall yesterday, and a customer, one of our best customers, who also watches our channel, was like, hey man, Assorted Crisis events, like, be honest with me, bro. I got so depressed the last issue. Like, is this one going to depress me? I was like, yeah, probably, but like, I think it's worth it, man. Like, I don't know, man.
Read the end though. Read the end.
But I like that you guys are talking about, there's a tinge of hope there at the end, because this is the end of the first arc, technically, if there are arcs, but it's the end of what will be the first trade. So it's good to end that way, and that's probably intentional, right?
It's gonna be great.
I would imagine so. They seem like they're smarter people than us when it comes to comics. So
I think they are.
I think it's intentional.
That East Village person, by the way, that's Natasha Lyonne in a show called Russian Doll.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's
Natasha Lyonne. I haven't seen Russian Doll, so I don't feel as bad, but that's exactly who it is. As soon as you said the name, I'm like, yep, that's her.
I recognize her. I didn't recognize the show though. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Decent show. Pretty good.
Is that the lady that was in But I'm a Cheerleader?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she was just in Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Playing Rachel Ross or whatever, Rachel Rose or something like that.
Rachel Rosman.
Yeah, basically Kirby's wife, right? Yeah. I love that Thing was a stand-in for Kirby, basically, in that movie. I loved it. Also, Kirby's in the movie. It's so cool. That's awesome. Anyway, I got to watch that again soon.
I do too.
But I think this is the last week in Mission Impossible 7. is available at my theater, so I might go watch that because I really want to.
Oh yeah,
What's been stopping me is it's almost 3 hours long. So.
You want to see it in the big screen. I did a rewatch of all the Mission Impossibles to get ready for that, and it was
I loved the last one, Dead Reckoning. And I'm glad they called this Final Reckoning because I was like, Mission Impossible Part 7, Part 1, Part 2. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, stop doing this shit.
I don't think these missions are plausible.
Jesus Christ. All right. It's time to get into round 2. I think we have time to do round 2, but it's got to be truncated. Not
Quick.
saying that when you do your pick, do it as normal. But when we respond, let's keep it tight. Y'all, we're all professionals. We've been doing this so long. Fuck, we've won awards for doing this shit. And we're going to win another one. So go vote for us right now or nominate us over at CBC Awards. Eric. Pick number 2, my man.
I can make this nice and tidy for most of us, but I think I really just want to test Brian and see where his tastes lie, because I know who's reading some of this here. Power Fantasy. This book slaps. I love it. This issue. If I'm gonna get Robbie to read this, it's sexy. It's sexy as hell, Robbie. This is all about two people getting down, getting together, and also maybe, possibly plotting a murder. The tagline of this whole series is that if any of these superpowers fight, we all lose. They can't fight, but they can fuck, my friend. It's wild, man. Casper does some really cool things visually in this book. The revelation, which me and Nick definitely know about from the last issue, comes to fruition here. We find out a little bit about the nature of the superpowers, what's going on in this world, superpowers that maybe don't exist anymore. And we know that one of the main players has a target on his head. Power Fantasy, read it, love it, enjoy it. I can't disagree with Absolute Wonder Woman winning for the best new series, but
yeah,
in our hearts and minds, though. we know Power Fantasy was the true winner.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, you sold me on this book better than you ever have before.
Yes.
Okay, just now. However, you also
sexy time gets Robbie every time.
It does. Dude, you're telling me like two people are fucking and planning a murder? I'm like, that's
like
my
soul. Whole issue.
Hey.
Like that's everything I love about fiction. All
Nudie magazine day for Robbie.
Hot demon goth chick, man. I mean, come on.
Yes.
It's great. Okay, I'm excited for that. Like, y'all know that I read the first trade paperback last month and really enjoyed it, 1 through 5, and I have issues 6 through 10 on my desk right now in the other room. So they're on the desk. They'll get read eventually, hopefully by next month, because they're probably going to take a month off since they just completed an arc. They got a trade coming out for volume 2 was just on FOC like a week or two ago. So
it's on FOC right now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Word. So yeah, I am. I liked reading 1 through 5, but man, you really fucking sold me there, man. Hey, there's Brian. What's up, Brian? Brian, of course, is the guy behind the CBC Awards. Go nominate us for Best Collaboration. And Greg, you have won because this show won 2 years ago.
There's no representation of that.
Brother, if we want to spend the money, I'll ship it to everybody and we can alternate it week to week if you really want to, okay?
I got one left here, Robbie. Don't worry.
Get a thumbnail for the review show. Each of us holding the reward.
What about you, Nick? Power Fantasy.
Number 8. Speaking of like favorite issues of the year, number 8 is my favorite issue of the year so far. Single issue. Number 10 is amazing. Number 10 is it's really going to be interesting where they go and if they can save the world, if we can maintain humanity, if we can maintain life, because shit's gonna hit the fan very, very soon. And I'm so excited to see the powers that be on full display and how they can outsmart each other, because that's been what we're trying to avoid for the past 10 issues, and now it feels like we're going to go to war soon, and I have no idea what that's going to mean with these powers, man. It's going to be a hell of a ride. I'm all here for it. It was a great issue.
Okay, all right, Brian. I know you haven't been here for a minute. I don't know if you've been watching, but one of our bits was that Eric was the only motherfucker reading Power Fantasy, and he was bringing it up every month, and everybody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he fucking pulled Nick and Stu in, and then eventually he pulled Greg in, and now he's pulling me in, and he's testing you right now. He wants to know, I don't want to spoil it, but Brian, what do you think about Power Fantasy?
I love Power Fantasy. I've been reading it since the beginning.
There we go.
I like Kieran Gillen's work a lot. He's had some really good series. Wicked and Divine, like that was one of my favorite books.
That's a great book. That's a great book.
And like, he's got that kind of British acerbic wit kind of thing, like, that he brings to his books. That I love that stuff, man. I do have to admit with this one, like, I'm kind of lost. I think it's just, I need to reread it just because when I read it every month, I don't have the characters' names in my mind. I don't I get a couple pages in and I'm into the world. I'm okay. I understand what's going on as I'm reading it and stuff, but I just feel like I'm not grasping some of the stuff. And that's more just from time, and everything like that. I know it's a coherent story. It's Kieran Gillen. I mean, he has good X-Men runs, like the guy, it is one of my favorite books, but like I said, I'm just slightly lost but my plan has been to kind of sit down with, this is probably a good point actually, based on the last issue. Just go back and reread it just so I can really sink back, really, get who the different characters are and everything like that. So,
oh yeah.
And it doesn't help that we had some character manipulation going on in the last issue or two. So if you were like, wait, how the hell, who is that? Why is he there? Like, oh, well, that's what the whole last two issues were about.
The only thing I'll add, Brian, is that I think Kieran Gillen did some decent X-Men comics. That's all I'm going to say there. All right.
I don't know. He's the only one that's written Sinister in a way that I enjoyed reading.
I don't know. It's just, I think it's a soft version what Hickman was building up. Anyway, moving on. Greg, I know that you were reading Power Fantasy. I don't know if you're super caught up on it, man. So where are you sitting right now?
I read the first trade, and I said, Robbie, I read the first trade, like I'm ready to hop in on this, and you go, no, I didn't read it. And so then I didn't read the other issues because you just ruined the shtick that we were gonna do. And so I've read the trade, and I'll read this next trade.
Yeah, you're where I'm at, basically. You've read the first arc, it's decent. Yeah. So
and Eric can bring us on for a Power Fantasy show on his channel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
That's a great idea.
Good idea, man. That's not too bad. All right, Power fucking Fantasy. I'm glad you got to bring it up again.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of that going on in the comic issue too, Robbie. So that's
I hope that at the end of the year we have how many times Eric brought up fucking Power Fantasy.
Are we keeping that stat?
And when and what the timeline was of get him sucking everybody else into this fucking book.
Eric is like my 6-year-old, just like annoying me into submission of like, fine. Okay, yes, you can have a pack of Oreos. Okay, I don't care.
I think it was Stu first. Stop. I think because you're inking insights, I think you pulled Stu in first, and I think Nick followed.
Because Nick was out. We were like out after issue.
I read the first issue and I'm like, first two, I'm like, this sucks. I can't get into this. And these guys beat the shit out of me for months, and I'm like, fine. And I read the first 5, and I'm like, oh. And then 6 through 10 were like, fucking, this is one of the best books out here.
And Robbie, this is what Eric does. You're like, hey guys, let's keep this all tight, as our backup discussions. And Eric brings up the most controversial book that we talk about.
Yep.
I brought up the book that half the panel could not talk about. You all made independent decisions as adults to continue the conversation.
All right. Well,
you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing.
I like to look at silver linings, and I feel like this is an opportunity to let us all show Eric that we're better than him at how tight we can be and succinct we can be with a pick. All right. So, Nick, what about you? Round 2, man. What are you thinking?
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, man. Rites of Spring, issue 1. Holy shit. What a great issue this was. I had a lot of hesitation on like, where is he going to go with this story? Like, it was it was one of my favorite books of last year. I think we all can agree. It was spectacular. I didn't know where he would go with this, and I was very pleasantly surprised in how enjoyable it was, how closely it tied into the original volume. So like, if you haven't read the first volume in the chat, like you have to read that before you jump into here. I would say there's enough inference in this first issue that you could get away with it, but you really need to do yourself a favor and read the first volume. But I loved being back in this world. It felt familiar. It felt like it didn't stop. It feels like an issue 6. I can't remember how many there were, but it feels like it just picks right back up where you left off. Everything you loved about the first volume is inside of here. Unique perspective on the character they're portraying in this issue. but they bring forward all the familiar characters from the first volume. And it's got me puzzled as to like where this is going to go. Because I don't know, man. He threw some curveballs at us towards the end of the series, bringing some people in, helping this chick out, trying to find her brother. And I'm really excited. So I was blown away by how fast he dragged me back into the world and how great the story continuation is here.
I agree 100%. I was very nervous. I was like, why are they doing a part 2? Patrick Horvath is that good of a creator. Just do something different, right? And he did do a one-shot. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I remember thinking it was pretty decent, but it wasn't as good. Free for All. Was that it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And that was actually what he did before Beneath the Trees. It just got released.
Oh, word. Okay. Yeah. Well, I remember liking that, but I was like, why are we doing another Beneath the Trees? But when I read this issue, dude, I was instantly pulled in. I loved the story, and I felt like this is a sequel that belongs and is deserved, not just for us, but of the story. So I really liked it. I thought it was a very, very strong issue.
Yeah.
That, like you said, brought you right back into the world. What about you, Brian?
I haven't been reading Beneath the Trees.
Okay. All right.
I did read the first issue, but I think that one kind of came out around the time I had to back out for a little bit, and I had to slowly kind of come back, and I think that was just one I didn't pick back up.
Yeah, well, you're gonna love it, man. You should definitely check.
I am gonna go grab the trade. I mean, I do a monthly book club thing, and one of my friends in there, he keeps talking about it every time. I don't get to go to that very often, but yeah, he brings that one up. It's that Rich Partain.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. Rich is a cool guy. What about you, Greg?
It's great. Brian, read it. The trade. I think you'll enjoy it. You ask why do they do it? Well, money. But then Patrick Horvath is like and that's no knock, but I mean, there's not too many IDW creator-owned books that I feel like where you're like, they knock it out of the park. Like they put a lot of their eggs in the basket of, Godzilla. IP.
Turtles, Godzilla, Sonic.
Yeah. And so I think when they were like, when they had the opportunity they had one of the best books of the year in Beneath the Trees. I think to be able to, you have to go to Patrick. I'm like, can you expand on this? And if Patrick, I feel like Patrick would not have done this because he didn't need to, unless he had a story to tell. And so I'm glad that like that first issue, like, man, they're letting him cook, and it worked out really well. I think, like you all said, it brings you right back into the world with a different twist, right? We're not doing Hangover and then we're getting Hangover 2 again with the same kind of format. It's a little different and is expanding on the world here. So I think it's a great first issue for something that I was not expecting or thinking needed a sequel.
E, what do you think?
So I read Beneath the Trees, the original one, after the series had come out. I read it in trade after all the hype had been out there and built up, and it was good. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was like, oh my god, like white knuckle in my chair, like this is the best thing ever. This issue kind of made me feel that way, though. I think that this is a more effective introductory issue. I think it was a more effective just first issue experience for him, and I think we've all kind of said it in different ways. Not a cash grab. He has a story to tell, and that's really, really exciting. So it's got me in. It's got its hooks in me.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Eric was the best of all of us at being truncated. And Brian literally didn't even read the fucking book, by the way, just so y'all know. All right. So Eric, you've redeemed yourself yet again. Brian, what about you? Second round, second pick. And by the way, Nick, that was a great pick.
Just so I don't go all DC, I will go with Godzilla versus Boston. One shot. There's 4 short stories. 3 of the teams are like some of my favorite people currently in comics. First one is Steve Orlando and Matt Emmons. Matt Emmons, great storyteller. Most of his stuff is writer-artist. A lot of really great stuff. Really imaginative guy. Really understands comics. That story is it like takes place back in the late 1800s. It's almost like a Moby Dick thing with Godzilla. It's pretty dope. And then the second one is Jesse Lonergan, who I will probably bring up every time I'm on a show because the dude's just phenomenal. And especially as a writer artist. And it's his typical trademark kind of interesting panels and everything like this. But this is like, it's done in a way that takes you on a basically tour of Boston as Godzilla's like trashing it. And it's got everything looks like a map inset, and everything, and with facts about Boston and stuff like that. And then the third story was it was pretty good. It was Hannah Cha. I'm not too familiar with her work, but it was beautifully done. But the last one was Hayden Sherman, who we should also bring up every episode. Again, and this time Hayden is writing, and it's a pretty cool story that has Baby Godzilla, which is also one of my favorite things there. So yeah, I mean, it's Godzilla. And also I went to Boston for the first time this year. So it was pretty cool. I was only there 2 days, but it was a pretty good time.
It's a really good pick, man. And I knew that when I read that book, and I didn't know who was a part of that book. Like when I used to be really into solicitations. Now I'm just mostly into data as far as like FOCs and my initial orders and shit like that. But like when I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, this book was designed for Brian. This is like all of his favorite people on one Godzilla book. And like, he just went to Boston. Like he'll love this shit. And it's great. But what carries that book for me is the art. Like the stories are okay, right? Yeah. But they're typical. They're just, what do you expect? It's a Godzilla anthology book. The art is absolutely top notch and amazing. And that's something that the Godzilla books at IDW have really been turning a corner lately, y'all. They really have been. And they also did Godzilla versus Los Angeles and Godzilla versus Chicago, and they're all good. And I think they're bringing in creators from those areas. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the vibe.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah,
is what they're doing because they seem to have way too much knowledge.
Yeah, Jesse knew way too much about Boston.
Yeah, if Jesse's not from Boston, bro, slow the fuck down. That was like a 10-pager in a goddamn Godzilla comic, right? Like you don't need to do that much. But I loved it. I thought it was great. What about you, Greg? Did you check that one out?
No, I've definitely hit my Godzilla fatigue. So it's more of there's so many Godzilla books coming out. Unless someone says like it's a great book, I'm kind of passing until I hear that. But I will check this out because I really did like the Godzilla vs. LA. So
hell yeah! All right, what about you, Eric?
Didn't read it, but I'm gonna.
Bruh, Eric's the best right now. Nick, I know you checked this out because
I read it today. Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, yeah, like you said, when they only have 6 pages or 7 pages, like what can you possibly do? The art usually shines, and Jesse, I think, did a great job, and Hayden did a great job. Jesse's footnotes were awesome. Yes. I love all that. He had paragraph footnotes on every single page. Really cool idea. Loved it.
Hell yeah, man. Good pick, Brian.
Thank
Some
you.
IDW love. What about you, Greg? Round 2. What do you think?
Gang, I feel like I've not tapped into this market very often, but Nick can tell. But Nick, add one down for a Marvel shill here because I'm going to pull out Captain America issue number 1.
You're gonna risk Marvel shill for that fucking book? Oh,
I liked it. I don't care what you say, Robbie, and this is my time. So you're gonna siege your mouth and shut it until I have my time to say that I thought Chip Zdarsky did a great job with this. I haven't read very much Captain America. I mean, I haven't even read the Ed Brubaker stuff, so like I have no knowledge of Captain America. So this was a very good introductory issue for me. I love these moments with the war veteran that like he has. And I really do like the aspect of Steve Rogers trying to figure out he's I'm a fish out of water here with this time. And there's those moments that really work for me of where he's just doing having these conversations with, like for him, he's been in the war. He has the war vet and him trying to figure out what's going on and, where stuff is and the action figures. And he's like, and there's a moment he's like, was there a Bucky one? And like, there's those moments for me that really worked. And I just think like, and something I don't, and I'm sure it's happened. I don't read a lot of Marvel, but like his conversation in the bar with Reed Richards, as they're just having this kind of moment and someone recognizes him, he's like, he distorts his face. Right. And it's just like, oh, like he can do stuff like that. So there was these little notes like that Chip brought to the table. And I thought this was a great first issue for someone who has never read really any Captain America stuff and is getting introduced into the world of what is Captain America like. So this is the first time I'm pulling a Captain America book, and I like it. So yeah, I'm wasting my Marvel shill on that, Robbie. So tell me why I'm wrong.
Oh my God. I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't vibe on it, right? But it's because I've read a bunch of Captain America.
Yeah.
Right. And every time somebody new comes on Captain America, so many times I feel like they're just telling the same fucking story. Right. But this time, it's Vietnam, or it's the Iraq War, or it's 9/11 or some shit. So like, to me, I was already bored. Plus, I think I was coming into this book unfairly from the beginning because I was very let down by his work on Batman, right? And I want a Captain America that's more like a Jason Bourne. Like, that's the book I want to see. I don't want Cap talking about, I just don't feel like I have a place in America anymore. And this whole idea, I don't know, if tying it into 9/11, I get it. It makes it sense today. But like, y'all, I read Captain America comics in 2001, and he dealt with 9/11. It was part of his story, right? Like, that's literally the Marvel Knights, John Cassaday, John Lee Reber, I believe, run on Captain America, which is kind of weak because I think when you tie things into specific events like that, World War II is a little bit different, but even now it's getting problematic, man. Like, how is Magneto still alive? Like, oh, the magnetic field keeps him alive. We all exist in magnetic fields. I don't understand the difference, but whatever, you know. But we're like, with Captain America, it makes sense. But you know what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if he comes in before the Vietnam War or during this war or post 9/11 or at 9/11. That shit doesn't matter. And I really was being a little bit, I think, biased and unfair with my review of Captain America, issue number 1, because I think Chip is a good creator. I think the art was fine. And I love hearing what you loved about the book, being someone who's not super familiar. That being said, bro, you need to read the Ed Brubaker.
I know. That's on my list. I need to read it. I that is one of those, like, we all have our comic like
blind spots.
Blind spots. That's my blind spot.
New Teen Titans is mine, man. So there you go. Hell yeah. But I love that pick, and I appreciate you picked it out. And issue 2 is coming out, and I'm going to give it a fair shot. I really am, because I think Chip is a really solid creator, and we'll see. But I want my Captain America to be on a motorcycle racing through European fucking staircases and shit. I want it to be a fucking Jason Bourne movie. That's what I want.
I wish Captain America was on a motorcycle. Good golly. That would have made it so much better, Robbie.
But to show that out again, like, it's really dope, right? But like, it's a very small fraction of that book, bro. Come on, be honest with me, right?
No, it's more of the talking, and I like that. So like, I like the dialogue, I like the character building there for me. I don't need a Jason Bourne-esque action. I want to develop the character because I don't have that relationship with him as much outside the MCU movies. So
yeah, no, I'm down for it. It's only one issue, man, and I don't know, man. I think I was really harsh on it for some reason, because then I don't even remember why I didn't like it as much. Like, honestly, I don't. Eric, what about you?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good issue. I'm really glad that Tom King is doing what he's doing right now in Wonder Woman, so you can redirect that hate back to Tom King, because you've been giving it to Chip a little bit recently. I don't know if he deserves it. I'm trepidatious with Captain America. I enjoyed the first issue. I had the same problems with the sliding timeline, but that's the same for everything that's Marvel. And my trepidations are the same thing that's everything with Marvel right now is, are we going to get Valerio Schiti on this book for more than 3 issues? And then are they going to pull the rug out from underneath us? Because I'm going to be really ticked off if that's the case, because I enjoyed the experience I got with issue number 1. But I don't trust Marvel. So to grade it, like, I think it's worthy. I think it's a great pick. Do I trust it though? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so freaking tough right now with everything that they do.
It's better than what I was doing, you know, when I first read it, man. And for instance, Greg, I didn't even remember that there was that scene where him on the fucking motorcycle, like, because you showed that, and I was like, that looks badass, man. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Nick, did you read it? What do you think?
I did. I'm probably right around where Eric is on it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was a pretty cool book. The only thing that like I was okay with the story. What was a little bit distracting was the shifting timeline. We talked about it before, but like we don't know who Iron Man is. He's like an Amok 2 or something, whatever it is. Like the world, all Fantastic Force fighting things that they fought, 40 years ago. So it's like that was a little distracting. And then we heard the same narrative, like Robbie, like you were saying about like, what do I do in this world? How do I fit in? Oh, this is General so-and-so. Oh, that's an Easter egg. So like, it was conflicting in my mind, but I had a good time with it. I thought the visuals were great. Interesting story. Shifting timeline messed me up a little bit, but I'm here for issue number 2 for sure.
I just remember one of the things I didn't like about it. There's a new Captain America, another guy following his same pattern. But I get it. I mean, that's a parallel that it's been done before. But like, if you've never read this shit, like when I was getting into comics in the fucking 80s and the 90s, or I would read shit in the 2000s when like Joe Quesada and Bill Jemas were like going fucking ham at Marvel. And I had old hats telling me like, oh, I've read this before. They're just repeating this shit. To me, it wasn't, it was fresh. It was new. And so,
yeah. And it's not going to affect me. So real quick, answer me this. So like, yes, I get it. There's been multiple Captain Americas, right? I'm familiar enough with that. Has there ever been where someone replaces Captain America and Captain America is still Captain America at the same time? Have there been competing Captain Americas at the same time with Steve Rogers, or has it always been when he's hung up his shield? Because that's where I'd only push back of if there hasn't been, that it's a different story, because I think you're going to get the interactions of those Captain Americas. Again, I haven't read enough to know. I'm just asking.
That is a different element, right? Because you can talk about there's been different Captain Americas, Nomad, you know, James Monroe or whatever, who was the Bucky and then a Cap or whatever. And then there was John Walker, who was around. Walker Steve Rogers was around for that, but he had given up the shield, right? He was the captain, and then John Walker was Captain America, and then U.S. agent and all that shit. And there's been like Bucky, there's been Sam, but that's all been with Steve.
Yeah, not competing. Right?
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. I think it's cool. Did you read this one, Brian? I don't know if you pulled this one.
No. I love Marvel though. I love Marvel.
Nick, mark him down for a show. Mark him down.
Yeah, that's a point. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, every time the word.
I don't get many Marvel books these days, but
I don't either.
It's too late now.
Yeah,
it's too late now. I think the leading Marvel shield this year so far might be me, man. I don't fucking know, man. But we'll see. All right, my second pick. I'll take it. Absolute Martian Manhunter, number 5. Like, I mean, Dennis, what I said before applies to this. Javier Rodriguez, the artwork, exceptional, psychedelic, noir. I fucking love this book. It's brilliant. And what's brilliant about this issue in particular, first of all, you look at issue number 1. What do we remember the most from that? Or at least what I remember the most is like the psychedelic colors in the book. Like if you got those Valiant 3D prism glasses and read that book, it looks incredibly awesome. It really does. I wish I could capture that on camera and show people like what it looks like. Like you'll just have to come over, because dig through your dollar bins, you'll find those Valiant fucking glasses, man. Or it's whatever the glasses you get when you get like the firework glasses that just it's like a prismatic type kaleidoscope effect or something. Dude, those glasses reading psychedelic, crazy as fuck, right? I love the reinterpretation of Martian Manhunter as an ultra-terrestrial, right? And not an alien from Mars, but from another dimension, basically taking over this dude, John Jones, and his whole story. The book got super deep. But in the last issue, we had the idea of white was the number 1 color or value, right? If some say white's not a color, it's a value. Anyway, but white was used so well in that issue to simulate this white Martian presence and heat in a heat wave. And this one turns it around. It's all about the shadow of oneself, the shadow of society, the shadow of the book, and so many darks, so preciously, perfectly spotted blacks throughout that entire fucking book. It's stellar. It's amazing. A great 1-2 punch, a yin and a yang, a sun and a moon. And it worked so well for me. The light and the shadow and the thematics that Dennis Camp is playing with. And Javi's artwork, get the fuck out of here. Y'all are great. Like the shit. How fucking good is this book? Eric, what do you think?
Oh, Robbie, I hate to break your heart, man. I struggled with this issue a little bit. Narratively, I feel like it was on the shoulders of Javi Rodriguez to do a lot of the storytelling in this issue for me personally. And I think he did so in a really great way. Without those visuals, though, I feel like the story falls apart for me a little bit. It felt very jumpy. And I get what was happening, but like kind of following the pace of the story and the jumpiness of it when we're kind of seeing all these people do these horrendous acts to other people without Javier Rodriguez kind of having a flow for the story, it really made it difficult for me. Now, I only read it once though, and this is definitely one of those books that you got to go back. You got to experience it multiple times. And I haven't done that with this issue. So maybe I'll have a different experience on the second sitting. First sitting, though, I can say it was the most challenging issue of a challenging series. I need to spend more time with it.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. What about you, Nick?
I really liked it a lot. I think it's balancing, like Eric said, this is a book like every camp book. I'm just going to say it now. Every single camp book you have to read 2 or 3 times because you're going to miss certain things, and it's because it's just a dense read. A lot of things in here. What is going on here?
I just saw Greg's fucking post right there. That's hilarious.
I feel attacked.
I'm sorry, man. It was one of my picks of the month too, and I regret it, man. I really do, man. I'm not always right. Man.
Y'all were like, oh, but it's the first issue. And then the issue you yell with Captain America is what it could be in the next couple issues. Shame on y'all. Nice House on the Lake, Volume 2. Sorry, Nick, you were interrupted.
I will.
Robbie's throwing off his own show.
I needed. So to Eric's point, I needed about 10% more spoon or hand holding in this issue to like really get nailed down the concepts. But what was really cool,
we talking about Captain America? Are we talking about Nice House on the Lake? Okay.
Robbie's gone.
I would like a little bit more help on the shadow part, a little bit more help on the vastness of space, the source of evil, and then we get that splash page at the end, which is kind of connecting the absolute universe together a little bit, which is going to be really cool to see what they do with that, because I think Manhunter is going to be the hardest book to tie in to everything else, kind of like Ultimate X-Men is going to be the hardest book to tie into the Ultimate line.
Good.
So I think there's some parallel there.
Fair, but I will say this is the first absolute book to really tie in into the dark side.
That's what I just said. Yeah, at the end of that book, that last page, it's the first one to do that. Yeah.
And I okay, fair enough. You know, I'm not gonna get butt hurt like this is Captain America #1 or Funhouse or anything like that.
I'll get butt hurt.
What about you, Brian? What do you think?
I'm feeling a Funhouse vibe, man. I don't know. I don't know. I was a part of that show. That was an interesting night. I know we're trying to be truncated, so yeah. I mean, everybody keeps talking about that page. That like, it's just gorgeous. Javi's dark side, man. I mean,
yeah, that was killer.
Right.
So beautiful. And Robbie, I'm glad this was like my third pick, but I did skip to Godzilla, so I wouldn't just be talking about Absolute Universe. I'm glad you brought that up about the dark, man, because it was a good contrast to the last issue. It was about 5 or 6 pages in. I was like, oh, this one's all dark. Oh, that's cool. You know, I mean, it's like I said, just keep pushing it forward and working with great artists. You know, I mean, that's full disclosure, like since I got back into comics, basically half of my pull list is DC. I feel like they've got the best creative teams and telling the most compelling stories.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. So. They really are. I think they are. Greg, any thoughts?
I mean, I said last week or last month that I was like only reading this because of y'all. I don't get it. I try. I don't. So I'm glad that at least Eric is there this issue with me. I'm not saying for the whole series, but he's there this issue. And I'm seeing some cracks in Nick's armor here. So I'm okay with that. So it just for whatever, I don't get it. And I think this is going to be one that I keep reading because I want to see what I'm missing. And I think my biggest frustration that I'm running into this book is I keep being told I have to read it multiple times to enjoy it. And I think there's a little bit as a reader, like I should be able to enjoy the first read around, and then I should get to experience it a little bit more and enjoy it more. So like, that's my frustration. I'm I think I'm so annoyed. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know why I'm not getting it like everyone else is. So
I would say it's like watching Memento, or it's like watching Tenet, or it's like watching Inception. Like, you watch it the first time, you're not supposed to understand it, right?
Yeah.
Or you'll pick most of it up, but that 25% that you're missing, you're going to get the second time, and then that 5% you're missing, you'll get the third time, and then maybe that's what's happening. Maybe. Or
but I feel like that's tough to do in a comic book form. Then for me, like Memento, I at least get it all at the same time. Where this, that's why I'm trying to. That's why I'm sticking with it, because I trust him enough as a creator.
Okay, I would. So like, I think that's all valid. I get what everybody's saying here, right? I mean, I loved it, one of my favorites, but I get it. It's so weird because like, how much better is Watchmen the second time you read it, right? Yeah. And Watchmen may be a bad example because that's something that you can really take in and understand the first time you read through it, right? But you appreciate it the more and more you read it. I love the idea of creators planning on rereadability, right? Just like I want a movie to be something I want to go back to. Same thing with a comic or a good novel. I've read fucking Sphere by Michael Crichton like 20 times in my life. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so stupid. But, whatever. I do it because I love, and I think a lot of us love revisiting certain things, whether it's nostalgia or whatever the fuck it is. But I love when that's baked into a concept. So I get what you're saying, Greg. I would be very curious if we were doing this show in 1986, 87, when Watchmen was coming out issue to issue, what our conversation would be.
I would love that.
I bet I would be like, at one point, I'd be like,
it would not, you wouldn't understand it very much because I'd be like babbling like a 1-year-old at that time, but it'd be entertaining. I'd tell you that much.
But if we were our age, but like, it'd be interesting because I feel like at a certain point, I'd be like, this book is like, its schedule is so fucked right now that I'm finding it hard to plug back into the narrative. And I don't know what the hell's going on. And they haven't even got back to this character for 3 issues, so like, or something like that, man. But I don't know. I'm not saying that Absolute Martian Manhunter is going to be like a Watchmen type thing, but I think it's pretty damn good. All right, rapid fire time. I got a show in 12 minutes. Fuck. All right, Verno, I'm going to be late. Somebody tell Verno I'm going to be late. Hopefully he knows. All right, rapid fire. Let's do this. The most rapid fire we've ever had. Eric, start.
Rapid fire, Green Arrow, gritty, crime-driven storytelling that is awesome. Montos, the artist on here, doesn't get enough credit. Read Green Arrow. It's the same thing that you loved about Daredevil back in the early 2000s. Redcoat, Simon Pure, you thought you knew everything about him, but maybe, quite possibly, you didn't after he ditches that coat. Tin Can Society, it's back. We love it. It's an awesome reading experience here that gives you the vibes of a Stephen King type story with its characterization, albeit in a superhero type universe with Iron Man kind of vibes to it. So that's really cool. And Ram V doing Resurrection Man, a character that I had no recollection of at all whatsoever, but I'm loving this story. Anand RK, make sure you're checking out his artwork. Make sure you're checking out his original artwork, which is very affordable on Kinetic Collectibles. Loving that series. Nice and tidy. Rapid fire.
Rock on. Nick, what about you? Rapid fire, go.
Ice Cream Man number 44. I just love getting back into this world, man. It was great. Being someone who works in corporate, can totally understand. What was the incident with the chainsaw? That was a great part.
Oh, man.
Absolute Superman. Really great little twist there. I just love how that book just continues to do the world building it does. And now we're getting a little twisted Kal-El here very, very soon. Dark Patterns was a great one. Another Batman book. Another DC title, though. This arc has been very cool. It's like the Narrows. We got some old gangster kind of stuff going on. We got a Batman who's down and out. And I've been enjoying the hell out of that one. And then wrap it up with Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Barbarian continues to be an amazing book. That and Savage Sword. If it's not on your pull list, I don't know what you're doing. It's just an incredible read. He's continued strong for 22 issues. It's insane. Pick up Conan.
I agree 100% with all of those picks. What about you, Brian? Rapid fire, go.
Okay. I know you brought up Dark Patterns, but I freaking love this book. Nothing else to say about it, really. It's just a fantastic book. It captures an early phase of Batman that, we get a lot of early phases of Batman, but hell, yeah, I don't know. I freaking love this one. And so here is a Marvel book, but it is Dennis Camp, the Ultimates. Only complaint is like they put Pietro and Scarlet Witch on the cover. I thought it was a cooler reveal. Would have been a cooler reveal just in the book. But I like this. I'm loving this series, man. Getting Dennis Camp on the Ultimates, like, I don't know. It's just a brilliant book, and I think it's really well paced.
And he's doing Ultimate Endgame as well, coming up soon. And
I'm totally cheating, but this is the last one, and I think this came out last month. But Paul Pope's art book, Volume 2, Paul Pope, Volume 2. Get this.
Show us a page or two, man. Show us some shit.
It's got some cool interviews with it too. Trying to find. There's Ultraman and Akira, I think. There's like a cool Venom, Craven Venom in here somewhere.
Well, show us something else. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just nice. I think that's the Anthony Bourdain book, that Hungry Ghost.
Oh, word.
I think you're right.
That's the cover. So yeah, it's another retrospective like the first one. It goes all the way back and everything, and he explains like some of his childhood drawings. Like, I don't know.
You should come down and do a top down with me on that one.
I would totally do that, man.
Let's do it.
I'm obsessed with his stuff, man.
Let's do it. That's a great rapid fire. What about you, Greg? Where are you at?
Rapid fire real quick. FML issue number 5 is back. I love that series. Kelly Sue DeConnick is crushing it, dealing with just being a parent and those relational aspects. Nailed it. Santos Sisters issue number 9 just won the Eisner. This is fun. This is one of those like nostalgic throwback comics of like there's 8 different stories in this, all by the same team, but they're all unique and fun. And if you're not reading Santos Sisters, just do it. Like it's fun. Like that's we talked about comics being fun. Like that should be something that you want. Los Montrose issue number 3. Again, it is LA Confidential mixed with Universal Monsters. I don't think it's being talked enough about this book. James Robinson's great story. And last but not least, Ed Brisson doesn't miss when he writes, and it's Wild Animals issue number 1.
Fuck yeah.
It's so good. It was such a good. The art doesn't do it as much for me, and it would have been up on my list higher. But it just doesn't sync with me on the art, but the story is there fully that I love. It's a great book.
Hell yeah, man. That's great rapid fire. For me, Transformers number 22, because I have to mention Transformers. I don't think I did last month, but we're nearing the end of Daniel Warren Johnson on Transformers. That's sad, but I love that all great things come to an end. Super pumped for that. Planet Death issue number 1. And Nick, it was different than just issue number 0. Okay. And it's amazing art. And I think it's a very simple story.
It was in color?
It's a very simple, but it's in color. It's a very simple story told in a non-complex way. And I have a lot of fun with that book, and I'm excited. Uncanny Valley issue number 10. I think Tony Fleece and Dan Wachter killed the ending of that story. I loved it. Very much underappreciated. Battle Beast number 3. I fucking love Battle Beast because it's just about a dude trying to kill people and kill himself in the midst of it. And it's so much fun, and I just enjoy it every time. Imperial issue number 2. Jonathan Hickman doing a really solid job with Imperial right now. I am engrossed in the story and the mystery of what's going on. I like it. Space Quest, Johnny Quest, Space Ghost meeting together. 2 issues this month. Dynamite's getting back on track. Issue number 2 and 3. Joe Casey, Sebastian Perez, they're doing fantastic work there. Superman 28, starting the Legion of Darkseid, the next big plug-in to the ongoing DC All-In Absolute Saga. I loved it. Dan Mora, Josh Williamson, they know what the fuck they're doing. Feral, issue number 15, broke my goddamn heart again. Zombie stories told but through a cat's perspective. Yes, please. Space Ghost Annual, issue number 1, David Pepose, ending his Space Ghost season 1 in epic fashion. Captain Planet, issue number 2. Get the fuck out of here. Why is Captain Planet so good?
It shouldn't be this good, but it's David Pepose.
Yeah. And speaking of him, Speed Racer number 1 was dope as shit, y'all.
David Pepose is the king of nostalgia.
Usagi Yojimbo, 10,000 Plums, issue number 5, because that made the pick of the week just because that dude, Stan Sakai, has been doing this for so long and he's doing it magnificently. Godzilla issue number 1. I'm not really a Tim Seeley fan, but this like Kai Sei era of Godzilla, the first issue was pretty cool. I liked it. It's the artist. I can never pronounce his name. It's Nicholas something. He was the artist in like that Dan Waters Azrael story, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
good.
It's pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And News from the Fallout, issue number 2. Fucking love that book. Jeffrey Allen Love, right?
You got it right.
Ryan, is that his name?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
I love that dude's work. I know some of his techniques because Brian kind of told me because we met him together. And then Brian wasn't there at the bar when I was hanging out with him with like Chris from Lost in Comics. But we had a great time. Super cool dude. But I love the book. And also he actually commented on my IG today being like, it's nice when I feel like somebody understands what I'm going for visually. And I was like, oh my God, he just validated my whole existence. Holy shit.
I did think the second issue was better than the first for that one.
Come on, Greg. You're so critical in the goddamn chat, aren't you, man? I'm sorry I didn't like Captain America. I'm sorry I interrupted you when you first brought it up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
14.
I'm here for the entertainment value, Robbie.
I know. All right, we got to wrap up because I'm about to go join Blood Splattered Chatter, and we're going to be talking about Blood and Black Lace, a Mario Bava film.
Was that the blank?
It pretty much... I think it might be inspired by the blank, man. I don't know.
Is this a Dick Tracy movie I need to watch?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it might be. Eric, I don't think I downloaded your thumbnails yet. So, Nick, tell us what you got coming up, my man.
Tomorrow, all new, all different Blank Fable. That's what we're going to be doing. Continuing the, the boards, badass bags and badass bitches or something like that. Yeah, badass women. That's great. Yeah. So we have Madam Blaster coming on tomorrow night, I believe. We had Caroline last week. Great time. And always a good time. Friday nights. Check out One Collection Down.
Brian, thank you for being here, man. Any final thoughts?
No, this is fun, man. I really enjoyed doing this. I appreciate the opportunity to get to come and talk about favorite books. It's my favorite topic to talk about.
Hell yeah. All right. Greg, what you got coming up, or what have you done that you want to plug?
Yeah, so I do career interviews, and a couple weeks ago I had Kelly Sue DeConnick on FML, Captain Marvel. Had a really fun conversation, and then also another book I mentioned briefly. I had the guys Greg and Fake from the creative team of Santos Sisters that just won the Eisner. That's what I do. I do creator interviews, and I have I don't give a thumbnail, but it's there. Timmy Haig, who's doing the Archieverse Minor Threats World, dropping next week. We talk, and that's coming on Monday. And I got a bunch of other interviews lined up and scheduled. So yeah,
hell yeah, Eric. How proud are you because you put a PCP Army Bad Batch ad in a Santos Sisters book? And do you think that you caused them to win the Eisner, man? Because I think you did, man.
I would never say that out loud. Yes, I would. Yes, you're welcome, Greg and Fake. Yes, I think that the PCP Army Bad Batch influence was definitely felt at the Eisners, and I'm happy for them. Outstanding work.
And final thoughts, man. What you got coming up?
Catch 9-Panel Grid on YouTube for comic book thoughts, comic book reviews, comic book news. Check out Dr. Doom's fan club for every episode of Ink and Insights, but most importantly, a new show premiering this upcoming Tuesday, Notes from the Editors and Ink and Insights show. So we get all of our review talk out of the way on Ink and Insights proper. That's going to be over on Stu's channel here, but this is more about all of the ancillary things, all of the things that are comic related, but not just the weekly review stuff. We're kicking things off here with our Mount Rushmore of comic book creators. So check us out Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern time. It's going to be a good conversation.
Hell yeah, man. That sounds like a cool show. I'm about to jump over to Blood Splattered Chatter. Follow me over there to talk about Blood and Black Lace, one of the first Giallo films, Mario Bava. Horror Fest is on the way. We're kicking it off August 18th with the Candyman franchise. Get ready for that. We're dipping out. Love you guys. Y'all are the best ever. Station.